Hi all, this is Dr. J at 11, streaming live from Long Island, New York, where it's a crisp 37 degrees, and we're expecting wintry type weather today, tomorrow. I don't know, Monday is a bad day. Well, we can't worry about Monday on Saturday. We're worried about the BIOTECH, in particular, athx, actinium, celsi, gern, oncosec medical, tandem pharmaceuticals, and mnkd. Mnkd is one that I haven't mentioned at all, but I think it's worth taking a look at, considering it's had a tremendous little pop from 94 cents to $1.41. So we'll look at mnkd. It's a diabetes drug. You inhale it instead of taking an injection. So it has some interest. It hasn't caught on in the marketplace yet, but maybe with these commercials that they're running, maybe it will. I think it's worth looking at anyway. Looking at the chart together. So as always, for your own due diligence, remember that my opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice, and that occasionally I do have good ideas. I'd like to think I have some very good ideas, and mixed in with a couple of clunkers, of course. So it's your job to pick out the good ideas from the clunkers. And for that reason, you should do your own due diligence, seek the advice of an investment advisor, all of those things. Study. And I'm encouraging you to give me a thumbs up, because I like thumbs ups. It's good. It's good for Dr. J. A thumbs up is a like. Means you like me, I like you. It's perfect. Subscribe to the video if you haven't, the channel if you haven't already. You'll have another chance to subscribe at the end of the video. And what else? Please share your comments, because I'm talking mainly technicals, mainly charts. I don't keep up that well with all the fundamentals. Please share with me. It's good for the readership, good for the viewership to have comments. And I'd like to respond to them. I'd like to hear from you. What else? I know a lot of you follow me on Twitter and Stock Twits. Please do, and on Google Plus as well. So that's great. And I think without further ado, it's time to look at the video tapes. So let's get to sharing screen. If I have a problem, I will exit Chrome and come back in and waste about a minute of dead space. I hope it doesn't happen again. It happened yesterday, but I'm optimistic that we'll be okay this time. I'm sharing screen. And yes, it seems to have worked. Okay, so the talk I had with Verizon helped. Nah, I doubt that did anything. So we're looking at actinium pharmaceuticals. Look at the headline down here: successfully completes first module of collaborative research program with Astellas. Second module initiated. I like collaborations, partnerships with Big Pharma. I think that Astellas is a company that could be a partner with actinium for a long time on this ore technology. I think it's awesome technology, but you can look at the fundamentals of this stock yourself. We're going to look at the technicals. Please give me some comments as to the fundamentals. All right. You gotta like the chart. It had a beautiful run up along this trend line. Tested the breaking to the downside, held the trend line, and now is back above the trend line with that news the other day on Friday. So the news on Friday sent it up as high as 52 cents, which unfortunately was rejected, but it was higher than the previous high of 50 cents. So it broke the 50 cents high of 1/8, making a high of 52 cents, only to finish a bit lower. So while it's an extremely bullish candle, it could be more bullish because it's diminished a little bit by the tall shadow. Tall shadow means that when it got to higher levels, selling came in. So, you know, it's still, I'll take it. It's a nice move up, 2.5 cents and almost 3 cents to 48.50. That's a very nice move from the recent lows at 36 cents. So percentage-wise, that's a huge gain. It's about 33% gain. So we like 33% gains. And I think we could have another 33% gain very easily, make that a double from here. I think that this stock has tremendous potential. So with news coming as to trials and so on, I think positive news will send this stock up. Of course, it's been held back by dilution, capital raises. That's always a problem with these small biotechs. Let's look at OncoSec Medical. By the way, I'm very long actinium pharmaceuticals, so sometimes I get a little over exuberant when I see a 2-cent move. It doesn't sound like much to you, but it's a lot to me. OncoSec Medical, up 3 pennies. It's a nice move, 4.28%. Let's see if I can blow this up a little bit. Try to blow it up a little bit. Okay, so OncoSec bottomed out here at 55 cents, also due to really 2 things. There was a update of the trial that wasn't taken too well, the melanoma trial. I thought the data was much better than what Wall Street thought. It was just a handful of patients, and it seemed pretty good to me. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I am a doctor, but not that kind of doctor. But I think the trial was pretty good, so that's not it totally. I think it's also this thing about raising money all the time and diluting and so on. That's what weighs these little biotechs down. But the promise here is enormous, just like in actinium pharmaceuticals. So you have a little tug of war between having to raise money all the time, pay the rent, pay the expenses. The R&D is not cheap. So that's where we are with OncoSec. I think if you look at the chart here, the high of about 80 cents, this line up here, just below 80 cents, and this line up here at about 65 cents. I think this is going to be the trading range for a while, 65 cents to 80 cents. So if you want to speculate and look to sell at about 79 pennies, you can make yourself 10%, I guess, if you want. It's probably not a bad spec. I think it'll test this upper line before it retests the lower one. But it's really a coin flip. So I think with the market being in a little bit of a rally mode, biotechs are beginning to pick up. I think swing trading some of these names could produce profits. I'm thinking of doing some myself. CVM has been in a bit of a slump. It's going the other way. And of course, we're not happy about that, but I think it's really oversold. It doesn't, not according to the stochastic, and not according to the RSI, just according to Dr. J. I think that we're back in this triangle here. And notice the triangle will come to a conclusion at 211. So I'm expecting that we get some news before 211 based on this chart that will catapult it to the upside. I don't care that it's selling off based on news of, I don't know, I think there was an $8 billion sell of some warrants, but I never paid too much attention to that. I know others do, and that's probably the reason it sold off on Friday. It might be a good opportunity to get in, especially if it continues to sell off to this support level here. What support? Support is at about 260. So if it sells off to the low 260s, I think it's a great buy. Looking for a big move to the upside if the news is, if we get head and neck cancer trial news that's positive. I mean, positively good, not that's successful, that meets its endpoints. If that head and neck cancer trial meets its endpoints, this thing will soar. I mean, I can't even imagine the number. So it's a binary event at some point, and I think 260 might be a good place to get in, either looking for a pop prior to news and taking your profits, or sticking it out, being a gambling type person, gamble through the news. Geron. Geron is one that I gambled through the news when I should have taken profits, as a lot of my buddies on Twitter and StockTwits did as well. At this point, of course, it's not worth talking about what could have been and what should have been. It's where we are now. And where we are now is in a trading range. I believe this trading range will go on for a long time. But it's not that bad if you want to swing trade this, because the top end is about 150, 140, approximately 140. And the low end is about $1. So between $1 and $1.40, you could probably go in and out a few times and make money. Right now, if you went in at $1.10 and got out at $1.40, you'd be making 30% or close to it. And that's not bad. And I think Geron does have that kind of possibility that it will come back up, test what used to be support at the 140 level, which will be resistance now. I see it possibly touching that 140 level in the next couple of months. So, I mean, what the heck, a 30% move in 2 or 3 months, I'll take that. And that's what I think is very likely. I mean, I'm not saying it can't go back to the dollar level and bounce off of that. In which case, you know, you could either accumulate or take your loss, one or the other. Tandem. Tandem is one that I pointed out about 2 weeks ago before I went to Florida, right when it was right at exactly 1.8. That's when I pointed it out. And I want to thank one of my followers for asking me to chart this, because I saw that it has a tremendous uptrend, and it pulled back to find support right around this $30 level, and moved up to $40, which was the resistance. Broke through resistance on the 9th and is a buy as far as I can see at this point. Broke the old high from 11.2, which was 44.10. It broke it 2 days ago. I think it hit 44.96. So we're on our way and heading in the correct direction. I think it's just a matter of time before we start making all-time highs again. The technology that tandem has, I mean, I'm not familiar with type 1 diabetics or their needs for measuring, pumping the insulin in and measuring the blood and all of this, all of that. I'm to my understanding, this is one of the top of the line gizmos for doing that. So tandem is, I don't know the fundamentals very well, but the chart looks pretty damn good still. Is even better than it did when I talked about it on the 8th. All right, Mankind. Mankind, of course, made a huge move. Look at that move. Very nice move from the lows. Where am I? I want to draw a straight line, not a horizontal line. I want to draw a regular line. I want to draw a trend line here. Okay, so there we go. Well, even sharper. Well, all right, I didn't draw it perfect, but you get the idea that it's trending very nicely up. It lost a little bit of its upward momentum over the last day or two, but I like the action. Yes, on Friday, it has a long lowish shadow, which means it rebounded nicely when it tried to sell off. And this 131 level, which it hit on Friday as the low of the day, was also the low of the day before, and the day before that. So it was a triple bottom at 131. And notice it was the high on 1220. So the 131 level is looks to me like it's going to be very good support. And the 150 level is going to be very tough resistance. So this is another swing trade opportunity between the 131 level and the 150 level. Right now, of course, it's in the middle of its range. What you want to do with it is up to you. But it looks to me like an opportunity to buy again in the low 130s with an attempt to sell in the high 140s to make a nice percentage gain. I think that's possible. Again, the other way is possible too. You shorted at 149, look to buy back at 131, but I don't short stocks, in case I didn't mention that. So I think all of these I am bullish on for the short term. And really, I'm bullish on, I think, all of them for the long term. Actinium, Oncosec, CVM, Geron. I still believe in imetelstat for Geron. It's just going to take a long time. And you have opportunity losses, right? If you tie up too much money, then you're missing opportunities elsewhere. Tandem, it looks real strong. Mankind, I'm not too sure about the fundamentals, but it looks like a swing trade opportunity. athx, I'm very, very high on athx. I don't think did we look at athx? I don't think we looked at it. Nomad is someone that I follow on StockTwits, and he pointed out in a tweet that it looks like the stock might be forming a double bottom right around these levels. Well, the bottom from 1224 was 136, and the bottom on Friday was 138. So this, if in fact we go up from here, we will have a perfect double bottom as it stands. And this is a kind of stock that likes to trade between the lines. Look at how many, about 9-10 months that it traded between 185 and 210. And I think it's going to want to trade between this low of 135 and this high, well, this line here, let's say, I don't know, maybe 150. That's a very narrow range. Maybe a little higher, maybe this line. What's this high? 165. That's more like it. I think you're going to see a trading range between 165 and 135 for a long time, until something propels it out of that range. That could be good odds news. I'm not, odds is one of the trials that athx is conducting for its multi-stem product, which is a stem cell product. It's for acute respiratory distress syndrome, which is there's really very little that on the market. So if it really works for that, that would be a great thing for the patients, great thing for the athx stockholders. I don't know exactly when that date is being released, but I think it's soon. And of course, we're waiting on Japanese trial results with our partner Helios, and that won't be for some time, unfortunately, probably another year or so. There might be some interim data released, I'm hoping. And so this is a long wait. It's less of a wait than Geron, but a long wait. And that's why I think it's going to trade in this range for a long time, months, just like it traded in this range for months. Okay, that I think is about all I wanted to say on these 7 biotechs. I will mention a couple of other biotechs that I find interesting, and that is Prothena, Prothena, or symbol PRTA. I like their chart. I took a position recently on Prothena. I was in it a long time ago. I had a 3-bagger. I think I sold it around $55, $60, something like that. I did quite nicely on it and went back in recently at about $10. I think it's about $12 now. So that's one to watch. Voyager is another one that I entered a small position. I think I'm actually slightly behind. I paid what I paid. $9.83, I think it was, something like that on Voyager. And that one is gene modification to treat some of these neurological diseases and other diseases. So I'm very high on Voyager and Prothena, but I'll talk about them and show the charts the next biotech report. This has been Dr. J at 11, reminding you to subscribe if you haven't. Hit the subscribe button, which will be on the screen in a second or two if it isn't already. And also check out my first two lessons of my class on stock charting I'll be giving lesson 3 shortly on trend lines, drawing trend lines. What else? That's about it. I want to say shalom, sayonara, hasta la vista, au revoir, arrivederci, ciao.